Benriach, the Smoky Ten. Is this a really good smoky scotch? Or does it not quite hit all the notes you might want? Stay tuned to the review. I'll let you know what I think. Welcome back to Exploring Whiskey. I'm Kevin, and today, continuing the sampler pack series, we are going to jump right into the Benriach, the Smoky Ten. So the Benriach, they like to finish everything in 3 different types of casks. The Smoky Ten is finished in ex-Bourbon, ex-rum, and virgin oak casks. What they're doing to smoke it, I'm not 100% certain. Obviously, I would assume they're using a peat to smoke their malt and adding the phenols and all that fun stuff. But let's see. So since it's the Smoky 10, it's 10 years old. It is 100% malted barley. And the bottle here, about $50-ish in that ballpark for the 10-year, $45, $50. But I did it through a sampler pack. I find sampler packs to be just a great opportunity to sample a lot of different whiskeys for a reasonable price. Sometimes not even a reasonable price, but you still get to sample a lot of different whiskeys versus investing a lot of money in one bottle you don't know much about. I had never had any Benriachs, so I thought a 4-pack of samplers with 4 different whiskeys to try out for $25, totally worth it. Well, let's see. Definitely smoky. I wouldn't call it full-on Islay, but it's totally in that ballpark. But it's a lighter smoke. It's not heavy peat smoke. It's a light smoke. It's a little touch of the iodine type medicinal saltwater notes. But there's a sweet like undertone in here, and I'm guessing once I can kind of acclimate to the smoky note, we'll probably get to a point where this is this is probably going to be pretty good. Honestly, the palate's a little weak. It's thin. I mean, the smoke is there, that you get. The little bit of medicinal, like chloroseptic, antiseptic type things, that's there definitely. But it's like, there's not a lot of body to it, and the smoke lingers, but the rest of the whiskey just kind of disappears. That's honestly a little disappointing. I do like the 92 proof, and it doesn't drink like that, but there is a little bit of a warmth that kind of pops through. So maybe it is the 92 proof, but again, like just it drinks a little flat, a little thin. Well, I called that one. Totally expected this to happen. The nose, the smoke is there, but it's just like you start to acclimate to it, and it drops down just a little touch. So that's come down. The brines come down, and now it's more like malted fruit and kind of like floral, citrus petals of some sort. It's very floral and light fruits. Ooh, that's really a nice nose now. That opened up, that blossomed really nicely. Again, once you get acclimated to that smoky note. The peat note is almost a little ashy because the whiskey just isn't showing up in the palate. It's really weird. There's so many positive notes coming through on the nose that the palate just kind of underwhelms. Peat note is, again, it's a little ashy, not very medicinal on the palate now. More just the ash char note, and then thin, and just the smoke lingers, the ash lingers. Like when you've smoked a cigar, and that kind of like it stays with you even though you're done smoking it like an hour later, it's still kind of there. That's kind of the note that's coming through on that. Little disappointing. The nose is materially better than the palate. Let's see what a little water does, because I did see a little oil bounce, but not that much. All right, so man, that smoke and ethanol really popped off for a second. Ooh, wow. A little twinge on the nose there. there's a fruit note. There's a really pretty strong fruit note that sits underneath that smoke and that char. The medicinal note's really gone. I'm not getting any of that iodine, seawater, any of that kind of stuff. The palate is better, but it's still not good. I've had much better smoky scotches, like Islay scotches, that where there's complex and notes that kind of linger. It's not as ashy, and there is a more almost like a charred fruit note now that comes through on this, but it's not, it just doesn't overwhelm. It's just not amazing. And I don't necessarily expect this to be amazing. It's a small sample pack for 25 bucks. So it's not supposed to be an amazing pour. Would I buy a bottle of the 10? I don't think so, but I'm really excited to try the 12 because I wonder if the 2 extra years maturing in the barrels and a slightly different mix of barrels for the 12 would add something a little bit to it, because it's got potential. It's just not quite there. Yeah, that fruit note is almost coming through, much better on the nose, but the palate, a little lacking. So thanks for watching my review of the Benriach, the Smoky 10. Very solid, smoky Scotch, not overwhelming, not totally disappointing. If you find it in the $40-ish range and that's your profile, it's worth it. I'd give it a shot. But my personal opinion and still my recommendation, I think the sampler pack is probably the best way to go here. I'm super excited to try the Smoky 12. You'll see that on the next episode of the sampler reviews that I'm putting out. And we will have a link to that right up here. And see you on the next episode. Cheers.